Beyond November 8th lies a massive and permanent post-election hangover. Jonah Goldberg returns for this look ahead. And the fact is that either candidate's presidency would be dogged by the turmoil currently roiling this election campaign. Sometimes you just cannot plan for the ball. You have to plan for the hangover too. No matter how 2016 ends, and we know how it's going to end, there will be a headache that haunts the country for years to come. Now let's start with the most obvious, but now conclusively it ain't gonna happen scenario. Donald Trump wins the presidency in perhaps the biggest black swan event in the history of American politics. Whether you think a Trumpetency would be an unfolding disaster of biblical proportions, the Potomac is turned to blood! Or the unfolding of a biblical prophecy to save America, the winning, so much winning! Or something in between, no one can deny the enormous change it would represent and the hostility and fear it would likely elicit from various institutions and constituencies, particularly the news media, but also Hollywood, higher education, our NATO allies, unions, left-wing extremists, or other left-wing extremists, and perhaps even Wall Street, the Pentagon, which I guess would be renamed the Trumpagon, and much of the federal bureaucracy. Sounds an awful lot like Richard Nixon, or the reaction to Richard Nixon, doesn't it? Hint, hint. Fortunately, Donald Trump has the Lincoln-esque qualities of political subtlety, magnanimity, and foresight to quell any such misgivings.
Oh my god, dude.
There's no need to dwell on that scenario right now, as Trump is poised for the worst showing by a GOP nominee since Barry Goldwater's drubbing in 1964. But a Trump defeat may carry quite a wallop as well. Over the last few days, as he's begun to realize that he's self-sabotaged a winnable race, Trump has taken to claiming that any loss will be the result of a rigged election. When his surrogates, including running mate Mike Cuck Pence, Rudy Cuck Giuliani, or Cuckliani, that's better, and Newt Cuckridge, insisted Trump was merely complaining about hostile media coverage, Trump ran to Twitter to insist that, no, many polling places are rigged too! Trump never misses an opportunity to humiliate those who would try to save him from himself. Trump's strategy makes no sense in terms of cobbling together a winning electoral coalition, but it is a cynically savvy way of locking in market share for what may be his next venture. Trump News Network! Dun, 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 dun. Actually, it would be more like and then Sean Hannity comes out in a clown costume. Laura Ingraham comes out as a dancing girl or a harem, or maybe in a harem costume. I don't know. That's right, folks. A media empire designed to fan the flames of cynicism, paranoia, and alienation for the populist, read National Socialist, forces fueling his presidential bid. In other words, if you think Trump is going away after November 8th, and you think he's not going to do everything he possibly can to keep the GOP and the right and the conservative movement divided, fragmented, and neutralized, then you just have not been paying attention the past 16 months. And when that happens, one can expect the feuding on the right to continue for years to come. And if the right cannot unify in opposition to Hillary Clinton, I mean, if the idea is to stop Hillary, then how does it make any sense to keep her opposition divided? And even if Trump were to show a level of graciousness in defeat that is impossible to fathom, the hard feelings on the right will endure for a long, long time to come. All of this has gotten a lot more attention than the equally inevitable headaches of that a Hillary Clinton victory will entail. Although these would be more along the lines of the get the popcorn and the frosty beverages, because this is going to be good. During the Cold War, the Russians mastered the use of slow-acting poisons to kill victims long after they were stabbed with an umbrella tip. Well, that's not just during the Cold War. Vladimir Putin owns the patent on that tactic and the umbrella. Fittingly, the WikiLeaks emails may act like a ricin or anthrax, wreaking havoc on Mrs. Clinton's presidency long after they're released. In a normal election year with an actual conservative Republican nominee, the WikiLeaks revelations might have proven fatal to Mrs. Clinton's candidacy. Hell, they would have. Instead, it seems almost a sure thing that they will poison Mrs. Clinton's presidency for years to come. The allegations of pay for play between her foundation and the state commissariat, her speeches to Wall Street, the animosity of some of her closest advisors for Catholics, Christians, all of these things will have a long half-life, as will her manifest lies about the use of her private server. The Marxist Sanders-Warren wing of the Democrat Party has been given ample evidence to support their suspicions of Mrs. Clinton as a conniving and cynical politician. The National Socialist wing of the Republican Party, and large swaths of the rest of it, is already locked into the belief that Mrs. Clinton is a singularly nefarious force in our politics, although her talent at it is vastly overrated. If elected, she will have fulfilled the only mandate that unites large numbers of voters. You ready for this? 3 words. She is not, that's 2. She isn't Trump. Nearly a third of Hillary voters say that that is the #1 reason they are voting for her. In other words, they're not voting for her, they're voting against Trump. Now, right now and for the foreseeable future, America is being torn apart by extremist passions on the left and the left that lead people to distrust nearly every major institution in this country. Oh, that's not necessarily a good thing, is it? But fortunately, Hillary Clinton has the Lincoln-esque qualities of political subtlety, magnanimity, and foresight to quell any such misgivings. Right?